wanted to get your opinion on muscle maturity, right? Because you've competed till you were 50 years old almost, right? And
Yep.
I keep hearing in bodybuilding, like the older you get, the better quality muscle you get, right? But then you have guys like Lee Haney, and he retired at 30. You know, he got all these 8 Olympias before 30. So what is the reality of muscle maturity? When is the prime age for bodybuilding? When you have the best muscularity?
Lee definitely was an anomaly, but I think he started lifting at like 18 or something like that. So he still had, 15 years or more under his belt. So that was muscle maturity. The thing is now is there's so much knowledge and information. Not a lot of wisdom, but knowledge and information. The wisdom is still pretty spread out. So you could, take more chemistry, eat more food. They all got all these different machines, overload the muscle more. So a lot of guys are putting on more muscle, but they're not building better physiques. You know what I'm saying? You still got the small, 7 or 8 guys with the awesome physiques, and then everybody else is trying to play catch up. Back in the day, no one was trying, before Dorian, no one was trying to get as big as they could get. Everybody was trying to be as athletic and aesthetic as possible. While you got, they knew that it was a process as far as the size. Now, people are literally trying to put on 50 pounds in a cycle, so, I mean, that's not how muscle really works. That you need about, I don't know, probably 18 to 24 months before it turns solid. You know what I'm saying? Like most of people's muscle gains are water. That's why when they take the diuretic, you don't even look like the same, like what happened. I mean, it used to happen to me all the time until I learned about being tall. My volume was so different. And that's kind of why I had to go from guru to guru, because I was just so tall, just hard to figure that out. I did nail it a couple times, only once or twice on stage, but most of the time it was, in the room on the way. But it's really hard to nail it. And I think that, now it's just, we can just, how they say, turn it up a notch and take more or whatever. And that's not necessarily the way to create that artistic, complete physique. And that's why it's still rare, where, like I say, back in the day, it was like, I mean, the most, what is it? Rick Sperry, Marcus Rule. I mean, I'm saying there wasn't that many non-aesthetic guys that didn't do well back in the day. You know what I mean? Almost all the top guys were really aesthetically pleasing physiques. Right. And then it just switched over to Mass Monster and Freak Show. So it has no choice but to come back, because the money went when the Freak Show showed up. The money left town. So now I think now they're in a position to make it bigger than it's ever been. I think Brandon as Mr. Olympia. Hopefully Sean comes back. You got like the top 6 or 7 guys with basically X frames. So yay.
You mentioned being tall, right? And I was talking to Paul Dillette about that as well. Being tall, was it a gift or a curse for you? Because obviously, if you have the muscles at that size, you're taller than everybody, so it's impressive. You know what I'm saying? But for you, was it difficult to gain muscle?
No, not at all. I just didn't want to push the envelope. I got up to 323, and for lack of a better word, I was like, whoa, I don't want to go. I didn't want to go no further. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to the point where I realized that, wow, okay, I literally figured out how to do whatever it is I want to do. But I never didn't want to have the package. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to just be up there dwarfing everybody. Because in my deal was my appendages are so long. So if you look at my forearm and my calf, so there's no muscle for like 6 or 7 inches on my wrist and like 10 inches on my, you know what I'm saying? So there's nothing I can do. There's no, that's just the way that they insert. My quads, I could have made my quads, to where I couldn't even walk probably. They wouldn't stop growing. I literally, when I turned pro, I stopped training legs for 2 years other than leg extensions and leg curls, just so my upper body could catch up.
That's crazy.
So, I always, my whole thing, when I tore my pec, so in other words, without the pec tear, the way that I was growing, I would have been a mass monster. But like I say, like my forearms were, the biggest ever been was 17 and a half, and my wrist is 7 1/4. So my arms got up to 23. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing really I can do about that, that muscle that's not there. So, but I think the rest, as far as back, arms, shoulders, all that, I think without the pec tear, I would have definitely been able to bring an upper body that could have matched my legs all the way, and that would have been really scary.